Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with SureCall. Today's host is Jason Hayes. He is their National Account Manager, and he'll be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box, and Jason will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Jason, thank you so much for being with us again today. Appreciate your time. Looking forward to what you've got to show with us. And please go ahead and take it on over.
Thank you, Julie. And as always, I'm happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. We've got an exciting lineup today of things that we can talk about. You can see on my screen here, we've got the SureCall Consumer Product Overview. This will take us through 2019 and right into 2020, some exciting updates and some things coming down the line that I wanted to discuss. And just a reminder for everyone that's on the webinar today or that's listening to it later, these products that I'm going to go through today are applicable for the U.S. as well as Canada. We have quite a presence in Canada and address all of those carrier frequencies as well. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So what we're going to cover today, just a few bullet points here. First of all, a little bit about who SureCall is, what we're all about, and what makes us tick, what causes a weak cellular signal, and then, of course, our products, how you address that weak cell signal. So I've got our product overview for our consumer solutions, and then we'll talk a little bit about our tech support, our digital asset library, and some of the tools that we offer to customers and dealers alike to be able to get the word out there and provide you with whatever assets you may need. So first off, who is SureCall? SureCall, we consider ourselves the performance leader in the cell phone signal booster business. We provide customers with superior tech and products that improve the ability to stay connected at home, in the office, on the go. We are the proud owners of several patents. I want to say upwards of 15 patents now in the cellular signal booster industry, and that incorporates everything from extended range technology, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, as well as noise reduction, noise canceling, that kind of thing, patents that allow the boosters to work optimally and basically be smarter and not just a device that you have to monitor constantly. So we were founded in 2001. We're headquartered out of Fremont, California, and we originally got our start in the enterprise and commercial space, talking really large buildings, 250,000 square feet and even bigger sometimes. So we're still the performance leading commercial, residential, and mobile booster manufacturer, and we have a culture of first to market innovation. So you can see on my slide here, 7 issued U.S. patents. That's actually a little bit outdated. At the time of this, when they made this slide, we had 18 pending or published patents, and I think the total issued now is 15 and possibly 16. So I'll go through and update that and double check it, but we're constantly issuing applications for patents and having those awarded to us. We've also won several innovation awards, fastest growing private company. You can see the years there. We're on track to receive that for 2019 as well. CES Innovation Award winner, CEDIA, Connected Home and Building. So a lot of things that we're very proud of, and we strive to stay on the cutting edge and really be the technology leaders in our field. So just a little bit really quick about the problem that we address and why there's even a need for our product. What causes poor cellular signal? Most of you probably know there are 3 main culprits. A growing culprit now is building materials. Everything now is energy efficient, radiant barriers, metallic window tint, all those things that keep our homes safe and warm and energy efficient also can block cellular signals. So you think of any kind of a new build, whether it's a home or an office, a lot of concrete, a lot of metal and radiant barriers and all those things that I mentioned, it can really hinder the cell signal. Another one that people don't often think about is terrain. A lot of mountains, a lot of trees. If you're down in a valley and the cell tower's over the next rise, your cell signal is going to be much, much weaker, possibly even non-existent. And of course, distance from the cell tower, even if you're in the middle of Kansas and it's perfectly flat, if you're far enough away from that closest tower, you're going to struggle to have a good signal. So our products really address all three of these culprits in a big way, and we'll touch on that as I go through my presentation. So overview here, dropped calls and poor signal are something that really everyone experiences sooner or later, whether it's in your own house or whether you walk into a building or maybe even your own office and you drop a call or your signal cuts out. I'm in southern Utah in a pretty spread out, rugged area, and I have two spots on my commute to work. I have about a 45-minute commute, and I know I'm going to drop calls if I don't have my booster on in these two particular spots. Cabin in the woods, or if you're just a road warrior and you're driving around, truck drivers tell us all the time, man, I have to stay connected. I'm constantly dropping calls. So those are all things that we address. Really quickly, before I get into the consumer product overview, I wanted to talk a little bit about, well, you know what? Actually, let me just go through it, and I'll bring that up as it comes to the right place. Sorry about that. So, boosting cellular signal in your home or office, 53.9, so almost 54% of American households are wireless-only homes. According to the most recent report by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and National Health Information Survey, only about 6.5% of American households are considered landline-only homes. So what this means is a little over half of American households just use a cell phone. They don't even have a landline. And of the ones that do have a landline, they also have a cell phone. And it's only about 6.5% that now have a landline only. So everybody is going wireless, right? Everybody's using their cell phone. And as you know, we're not just using our cell phones for calls. We're also using them for data, lots and lots of data. That's the big thing now. And we address all of that. So our Fusion for Home is kind of our top-selling, top-of-the-line, best product for a residential or a small office application. It's going to boost signal for voice and data for all carriers in North America, U.S. and Canada, up to 4,000 square feet. So any structure or area or home up to 4,000 square feet, you're good to go with this kit. It retails for about $549. We do have kit variations that are less expensive than that as well. And there are a couple of different options there for outside and indoor antennas and different configurations based on the customer's need. These are all pre-approved by the carriers, and they're all FCC and Industry Canada approved. Lifetime tech support, 3-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. So this is kind of a diagram of how that Fusion for Home is set up. You have an outside antenna up on the roof, typically the higher the better, and then connecting from the antenna to the booster using coax, and then we're basically bringing in that outside signal, boosting it, and then from there we go to an inside antenna and transmit that boosted signal inside the home or office. And so again, depending on the layout of the home, there are a couple of different kit variations that can have anywhere from 1 to 2 to 4 inside antennas. If you have a Rambler style home that's real spread out or something like that, we have kit configurations that will fit the bill. So this is our retail packaging, and that should say Fusion for Home. The box says Fusion for Home, but for some reason my slide says Easy 4G. I apologize for that. This is the Fusion for Home packaging, and this is particularly the Yagi outside antenna and the panel inside antenna kit configuration. Moving on, we'll go to our flare for just a couple of minutes. The flare is our kind of our smaller area booster. This improves voice and data signals for all carriers for areas up to about 2,000 square feet. It's a very simple plug-and-play setup, 8 simultaneous users, whereas the Fusion for Home, I believe, is 10 simultaneous users. Either way, 8, 10, it's a good number of people that can all be using their phone at the exact same time, whether it's for voice or streaming or playing a game or what have you. This has automatic gain and attenuation control to optimize the booster performance. No knobs or dials that you got to mess with. And again, that lifetime tech support, FCC and IC and carrier approved, and the same great warranty and money back guarantee. So the benefit to the Flare is that it's much simpler to install. It's a lower price point, and so if you have a smaller area, again, up to about 2,000 square feet, this is a great one. You still got to have the outside antenna out on the roof, but from there you just connect to the booster, which sits on a desktop or tabletop and has the inside antenna built right into it. So you plug it in, centrally locate it, and you're going to be able to boost signal in that area. That's how that thing is set up to work. So this is the retail packaging for the Flare, and you'll notice both with the Fusion for Home and the Flare and the mobile ones that we're going to talk about, these all have French English packaging because, again, we do a lot of business in Canada, and that's pretty common in Canada. So you'll see that across the board on all of these, but really nice retail packaging on those, very attractive, and of course everything is included in the kit that's needed. You don't have to worry about purchasing anything separately. Everything that you need to plug it in and have it work is in the box. So I want to jump over to boosting cellular signal in your vehicle. Obviously, we talked about some of the challenges with being out and about, the terrain and the distance from cell tower and all those things. Staying connected while driving has never been in such high demand as it is right now. And our mobile boosters, of course, cover all the voice and data needs, whether it's, keeping your kids quiet and letting them stream a movie or something while you drive, whether it's a GPS to get you where you need to go. Maybe you need it for emergency calls or just to chat with your wife while you're driving to work. And then, of course, our first responders, you can see the picture in the center at the bottom there. That's a picture of the inside of a police vehicle, and they have a lot of different devices that they rely on and have to stay connected so that they can communicate with dispatch, pull up warrants and different things to check on what they're doing and go forward. So high demand for boosting cell signal in the vehicle. And our new Fusion to Go 3.0 product is one of the top rated in the industry, outperforms all of the competition. This improves voice and data signal for all carriers inside the cab of that vehicle. So nothing has to actually pair or connect to the phone. You don't have to have your phone in a cradle or anything like that. Just by getting in your car and starting it up, your phone's going to benefit from that signal boost, so is your passenger's phone. So this will keep you connected through dead zones, lifetime tech support, same FCC certification, warranty, etc. The idea behind the Fusion to Go 3 is that this has our ERT, our extended range technology. So this is excellent for boosting signal, especially if you're in one of those zones where you're far away from the cell tower. That extended range technology really allows you to stay connected to that tower and will get you through that dead zone 25 to 30 miles further down the road than you would without it, and quite a bit further even than you would with a competitor's booster. This is how the Fusion to Go 3 installs. You can see the outside magnet mount antenna. That's a very low profile, powerful magnet antenna. You have the inside patch antenna, which we recommend you have centrally located, on the shoulder or armrest of the seat or the center console, something like that. And then the booster itself can be positioned under the seat, whether it's front or back, and then it just has to plug into your cigarette lighter or your power supply there. and you're able to stay connected wherever you go. So that's fairly easy plug and play setup, and very durable. As long as you remember to, it's best if you take that magnet mount antenna off when you go through the car wash. I've made that mistake a couple times. It is a real powerful magnet and it does okay, but it's always good to take it off just so that you don't, pull on that cord too hard or anything. So something to keep in mind. And of course, this is our retail packaging. You can see there again, very clean. Everything's included that you'll need to make it work. And it's got the French English packaging just like our residential boosters do. So moving down to the N range, the N range is really considered our single user vehicle booster, and this says MSRP 449. It's actually come down quite a bit with the release of our new Fusion to Go 3. So that's actually $299 now MSRP on the N range. But just like our Fusion to Go 3, this is all carriers, voice and data, 4G, LTE, all of that stuff. It's just for one user at a time. So this is actually, it's got the magnetic cradle antenna, and it will boost signal for all carriers in the cab of the vehicle under kind of a best case scenario. But this is in the rugged remote areas where the signal's weakest. It's designed to boost signal for just the one phone that's on the cradle. This will also keep you connected through those dead zones. It's got a low profile, much larger base antenna that has the booster built right into it, so it cuts down on components and makes it easier to install. And you can see on my diagram here, you don't have a booster that has to, be mounted or positioned under the seat. You can just put that big antenna on the vehicle. It's got a big magnet on it, and then the cradle plugs in and your phone goes on the cradle and you're all set. And this is the N-range packaging. It's a little more compact because there aren't as many components, but just like all of the others, it includes everything that you'll need to make this system function and operate. You won't have to buy anything separately. So real easy to take this from one vehicle to another if you're, going to be traveling somewhere and you just want to take it with you. It's easy in, easy out. Nothing that has to permanently mount or anything like that. Our technical support, we have in-house technical support, U.S. based. They're out of Fremont, California, our headquarters there, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's the number there. That's our toll-free tech support number. And I've also included the digital asset library link. I know Julie always posts these, so you should be able to pull it from that later on. But this will allow you to view and download a wide variety of images, install guides, spec sheets, anything that really you might need to check out the different variations of our product, the specs, if you need to show a customer an image or anything like that, that's where you can get all that stuff. And then, of course, I'm Jason Hayes. That's my email address. That's a good way to reach me. That's my cell phone number. I do travel a fair amount, but I will always address emails and calls in the evening and kind of try to keep everything clean for the next day. So that's the best way to get a hold of me, is either my email or my cell phone number. And again, I'll always call you right back just as soon as I can. That's all I have for you today. I want to go ahead and take a minute to open it up for questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, Jason, for that wonderful presentation. And it looks like we do have some questions for you. Let's go ahead and get started with the first one. Your cell support service, if it supports up to 4G, can you talk about potential 5G network in the future once it's ready for the public? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said in the beginning of my presentation, we're always on the cutting edge of cellular boosting technology. 5G is no different. We do actually have an in-building 5G booster. It boosts 5G just on the kind of the higher frequency, 2700 megahertz, I believe it is. it doesn't address any of the millimeter wave 5G, which will be the majority of 5G when it rolls out. So I don't really have any hard data on that, or kind of how that booster is going to be configured or how it's going to work. But the short answer is yes, our engineers are addressing that. We've actually got a couple of patents in the pipeline. And so whenever 5G is kind of released to the masses, we will have a product to go with it. Millimeter wave is going to be a different animal, and I'm not an engineer, but it's a lot different than the 3G, 4G type stuff that we've been used to seeing. So I'm almost positive that it's going to require kind of a whole new booster, kind of a different approach. I don't think we'll be able to just upgrade, a booster that we have existing in the field, but we'll definitely have products that will address boosting 5G.
Thank you so much for that, Jason. Appreciate it. And yes, we have a lot of people ask about the 5G and it coming in the future and all of that. Okay, next question here for you. If a customer needs assistance with any kind of installation, would the best way for them to get that would be to call us and we call you if there's any technical installation questions that come our way?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do have a network of certified installers that we can direct people to depending on where they live and where they need it installed. So yeah, that can go through Microcom, or you can also visit our website and get pointed in the right direction there for installs. That's really up to you and how you want to handle it. But we do have a network of installers, and we're happy to help connect you to any one of them.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Next question here for you. For the N range, can the cell signal antenna be upgraded with a third party?
With the N range, no. With the Fusion to Go 3, yes, you can swap out that magnet antenna for a different one. But with the N range, the booster itself is actually built in as part of that roof mount antenna, that magnetic antenna. So if you took that antenna and tried to swap it out for something else, you lose the booster. So, if you're talking about possibly doing something different on the inside antenna, yeah, as long as it has the right connector and it's modulated to boost those same frequencies, you could keep that magnetic outside antenna and swap out the inside cradle antenna for something different if you wanted to. You may want to check before you do that. You may void the warranty or something like that, but I know it can be done. It's just a matter of the connection being correct and the frequencies that you're boosting lining up.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Jason. Can you tell us general overview of your product's warranty?
Yeah, so it's a 3-year manufacturer's warranty. And basically, the best way to think of our warranty is we go out of our way to take any guesswork out of this or any buyer's remorse potential out of this. And the reason that is that even though cell phone signal boosters have been around a long, long time, our biggest hurdle is still awareness. If we stood outside of a Walmart or even a Home Depot and stopped 10 people and said, hey, what would you do if your cell phone doesn't work in your house? Most people would still say, oh, I guess I'd have to switch carriers, or, I'd call the carrier and see what they can do for me. People don't know that you can just walk into a Radio Shack or a Best Buy and buy a cell phone signal booster. So awareness being our biggest issue, we always offer that 60-day money-back guarantee so that they can try it and have no fear of it not working, and be able to get a full refund if they're not satisfied. That takes away any fear of trying this new product, or to them new anyway. And then with the 3-year manufacturer's warranty, we give our tech support team kind of carte blanche to be able to do whatever they have to do to help the customer and keep the customer satisfied. So within that 3-year period, we will bend over backwards to make sure that that product works, to swap out components or even the booster if we need to make sure that it's performing correctly. So that warranty basically covers the customer top to bottom.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. You may have answered part of the next question I have here for you. I'm going to read the whole thing to you just the same. For the DC power, how much voltage wattage does it give, and can a customer use other adapters just in case it fails?
Wow, that is a great question, and that's getting a little bit above my technical pay grade there. That's a question that is probably answered in our spec sheet. And to the person that asked the question, if you wouldn't mind, maybe just shoot that to me in an email, and I can have an answer turned around to you pretty quickly. But it's not something that I know off the top of my head. I apologize.
No need to apologize, Jason. That's excellent. And you will probably get an email from our sales support engineer. So thank you for that accommodation. We appreciate it. And I'd also like to thank you for answering all of those questions here this morning. And thanks to everyone for attending today as well. If anyone has any further questions, of course, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. If you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. And remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so you can view it again. Jason, excellent presentation today. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward to doing this again in the near future.
Thank you, Julie. I look forward to it as well. Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.